bloodiest war on American soil. States versus states. Brothers versus brothers. Join hosts Bang and Dang as they take you battle by battle through the most divisive time in American history. Welcome to Battles of the American Civil War.
Hi, welcome back to Battles of the American Civil War, which was Bang and Dang, where we are at the end of 1864. Last three battles of 1864.
War's over, guys. Been over.
The war is indeed pretty much over. We got a couple engagements in Virginia and one in like Tennessee or something like that. It's going to be a real short episode since it's the last three of 1864. We don't want to start 1865 till next episode, but we got the Battle of Marion, the Battle of Second Saltville, the Battle of Anthony's Hill, which I believe Marion and Saltville are directly connected to each other. And Anthony's Hill, and then we'll round it out. Look at some stats for 1864. Not good in Rebels' favor. Just let you know that. But before we get into it, you already know the drill. Go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network. If you're listening on podcasts, if you listen on YouTube, go check out our podcast at Spotify, Apple, wherever else you get your stuff at. Give us a review, share it with your fans, answer that Spotify question, give us a subscription. Starting out first, Battle of Marion, December 17th to the 18th, was a military engagement, obviously, near the town of Marion, Virginia. Battle was part of Major General George Stillman's attack upon Southwest Virginia, aimed at destroying Confederate industrial infrastructure near Saltville and Marion. By the end of 1864, the American Civil War was slowly drawn to a close. Abraham Lincoln got reelected. General Ulysses S. Grant was made commander of the whole Union Army. The possibility of Confederate victory was steadily lessened. Along the eastern seaboard, Union forces had pushed the Confederate forces of Robert E. Lee steadily back after the bloody battles of the Wilderness and Spotsylvania. In the Appalachian Mountains, Philip Sheridan had defeated Confederate armies in the Shenandoah Valley.
Did.
As Union forces, after getting whooped in the Shenandoah Valley up until then.
Right.
As Union forces pushed southward, they destroyed significant portions of the Confederate agriculture base. As Union forces defeated Confederate armies in the northern reaches of the CSA, the general himself, William T. Sherman, began his march to the sea, which would eventually succeed in destroying 20% of the agricultural production in Georgia alone.
Yeah, not only was he whooping soldiers' ass, but he was just like...
burning everything, man.
Guess what, motherfuckers?
Burning everything. Nothing shall survive.
As Union forces advanced south, the infrastructure near the town of Marion, which was located southwest Virginia, on the middle fork of the Holston River, between Saltville and Whiteville, it became a major objective of Union forces. Now we know exactly where Marion's at, guys.
Right.
Pinpointed that son of a bitch. Marion itself was politically divided. Citizens fighting for the Union and the Confederacy.
All right. So we got a little bit of Kentucky going on here.
Right. Until the winter of 1864, the town's location in the mountainous region had protected it from major fighting. In November 1864, George Stoneman, deputy commander of the Department of Ohio and in charge of all Union cavalry units in eastern Tennessee, he's like, you know what? I think we should do an expedition into southwest Virginia. What do you guys think? We can disrupt the production of supplies and facilities that are helping out the old Rebs continue this war that we already know it's over. Let's gain the approval of Major General John Schofield on 6th of December, 1864. That's a good idea, bud. Right. Let's do it.
Well, these Union forces consisted of about 4,500 men from a variety of different units. Several units which had participated in smaller scale raids in southwest Virginia earlier in the conflict. Union Army was under the command of Major General George Stillman, Brigadier General Alvin Gillum, and Brigadier General Stephen Burbridge. The majority of the forces that would have been stationed at Marion had been transferred to the Army of Northern Virginia. Yeah, they're like, we need your help up here, guys.
Yeah.
The heavily scaled down Confederate forces consisted of approximately 1,500 men, which were under the overall command of Major General John Breckinridge and Brigadier General Basil Duke.
What the hell happened to this Breckinridge guy, dude? He's like nobody now.
Right.
He was decent in the beginning. Did he do some fucked up shit?
He becomes Secretary of the War here soon for the Confederates.
Oh. Well, Stoneman, he used troops under Brigadier Generals Alvin Gillum and Stephen Burbridge, including the 5th and the 6th United States Colored Cavalry Regiments, both of which had participated in the previous attempt to destroy the salt works during the First Battle of Saltville. I remember that. Stoneman, he ordered Burbridge to bring in his division of 4,200 cavalrymen through the Cumberland Gap to join Stoneman and Gillem at Knoxville. That's what's in Tennessee. Gillem was refitting his own command into a picked force of 1,500 men there. He did not reveal the objective of the expedition to his subordinates until 3 days after they had departed Knoxville on the 10th of December. Damn, they don't even know what they're doing. Like, what are we doing? Well, I don't know. Where are we going? We're going to Knoxville.
March.
12th of December, Stoneman's force flanked and forced back Confederate Brigadier General Basil W. Duke's cavalry at Rogersville, Tennessee. Union forces defeated and scattered Confederate troops the very next day at Kingsport, Tennessee. There, Gillem captured 84 prisoners, including Colonel Richard C. Morgan.
No, not Richard Morgan.
And the brigade's supply train. Oh, he could have took the colonel, but leave the damn supply train.
December 14th, Union regiments began to push Duke's cavalry back towards Abington, Virginia. The next day, Stoneman and his cavalry went into camp at Glade Spring, Virginia, which was approximately 13 miles west of Marion. December 16th, Stoneman's cavalry advanced towards Marion, destroying infrastructure and public buildings in their path.
No shit.
Said, we're coming for ya.
Coming strong, boys. Coming strong. The old Rebs forces were under command by Major General John Breckinridge, as we said.
Yeah.
Former Vice President of the United States.
He was.
And also candidate for the United States President in 1860. The commander of the Department of Southwest Virginia as well. His command consisted of approximately 1,000 regular troops with another 500 militia in reserve. Most of the companies had been transferred to the Army of Northern Virginia to help the defense of Richmond. Breckinridge's forces consisted of Colonel Henry Giltner's brigade, which is formed from the soldiers of the 4th Kentucky Cavalry and the 10th Kentucky Cavalry battalions. The 11th Kentucky Mounted Rifles, later renamed the 13th Kentucky Cavalry Battalion. And he had the 64th Virginia Mounted Infantry as well.
That also included Basil Duke's cavalry, Brigadier General George Cosby's cavalry, and Colonel Vincent Witcher's 34th Battalion of Virginia Cavalry.
Just never take a drink, he offers you.
Right. On the night of December 18th, Breckinridge and his troops moved out of Saltville, Virginia in an effort to stem Stoneman's advance. Taking the regular troops with him, Breckinridge left Colonel Robert Preston in charge of the 500 militiamen to defend the salt works.
Okay.
Breckinridge sent Witcher and his men of the 34th on ahead of the main force and ordered them to harass the Union forces.
Yeah.
Dang, you look good.
Look at those blues.
I wonder what they look like on the floor.
Right.
At about 3 a.m. Right. Breckinridge and a small company began to cross Walker's Mountain. In the last few days before the march, 4 inches of rain had fallen, leaving the roads muddy and difficult to travel.
No shit.
By 4 a.m., they reached the main road near 7 Mile Ford, Virginia, where Breckinridge halted and waited for daylight before continuing.
Dude, it sucked back in the day before cement roads.
They could have timbered the roads, whatever they're called.
Yeah, they could have done that.
Whatever they were called.
Or they could have, even the dirt roads today are better than their best roads back then. Man, just imagine, dude. There's so much traffic on them, and there's trenches from the wheels of the wagons, and then horses, and it's just insane, dude. It'd be like walking through knee deep water all day, or even knee deep would be enough because ankle deep you still rough. But
Not only that, imagine like a small town where the thing's all muddy and you got horses running around and they're just shitting all over the place.
Everywhere, dude. It's just insanity.
Muck.
Around noon, 17th December, 1864, Breckinridge's men mounted their horses and rode towards Marion. Meanwhile, Stoneman, he sent some of his Tennessee regiments to Wytheville to destroy anything that looked valuable. Stoneman also sent 2 regiments of the cavalry to destroy the lead mines and smelting facilities that were located about 10 miles from Wytheville. What's smelting?
Smelting metal, man.
Or it could be like a...
No, it's metal.
Smelt.
You're smelting metal. An unfortunate smelting accident.
Smells like a...
It's like fucking...
like a shrimp.
Melting down metal, man.
Anywho, Stoneman and Burbridge continued on toward Marion, where they encountered Witcher and his men.
Uh-oh.
Burbridge's front regiment easily pushed back Witcher's small regiment, who stopped just so they could fire a volley into the old Bluecoats cavalry. They then continued to retreat toward Marion. Witcher, he sent a courier to inform Breckinridge that hell's coming, motherfucker, and we're coming with it. We're bringing hell with us, motherfucker. Right. We'll be there. Breckinridge felt like shit.
Well, his front regiment was the 10th Kentucky Mounted Rifles under the command of Colonel Benjamin Caudill. Caudill's men dismounted.
That's the first time we heard that name, right?
Right.
Caudill?
And his men His men dismounted and fired into the Union cavalry, inflicting minor
Oh,
casualties.
jeez.
As the rest of Breckinridge's troops began to arrive on the scene, Stoneman's soldiers secured elevated positions overlooking the river. Breckinridge observed that these hills were the best defensive position in the area, and he ordered his front regiments to eliminate Union resistance on the hills. The rest of Giltner's brigade also joined in the charge, routing the Union soldiers and allowing the Confederate forces to use the defensive positions themselves and said, we'll take this.
Damn right. Upon losing the heightened positions, old Burbridge, he ordered his own forces to counterattack the old Reb position. When the Bluecoats advanced on the hills, the old rebel infantry and cavalry inflicted heavy casualties on the old Union guys, the old Yanks, and he slowed Burbridge's progress significantly. As Union forces continued to attack that very hill, Major Richard Page, commander of the old Confederate commander of the Confederate artillery squadrons at Marion, he fired his battery of 10-pounder Parrott rifles. He's like, we're going to attempt to slow these damn Unions down. That charge is going to stop. Taking heavy casualties and facing heavy fire from all sides, Burbridge front regiments, they're like, fuck this. We're out. Well, it's not going too good for Burbridge, huh?
Well, looking like it. The Union officers refusing to withdraw, reorganized their regiments, and resumed the attack.
Damn right.
As with previous charge, the Confederate line held, repelling what remained of the Union regiments.
Wow.
After repelling a final charge, Confederate forces had succeeded in holding their elevated positions throughout the first day of combat.
Gosh.
But wait, there's another day.
But wait, there's more.
Throughout the night, Breckinridge ordered his forces to move forward and construct new barricades to receive the next day's attacks. These new positions placed the opposing armies within 150 yards of one another.
Oh.
In the lull between the fighting, elements of the Union forces were ordered to take up positions at a covered bridge on the river. 75 men advanced into positions near the bridge, both sides prepared to resume combat the following day.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
It ain't over yet.
At dawn, Union forces positioned at the covered bridge opened fire on the old Rebs, harassing them and their forward positions. As the morning's fog lifted, Burbridge's regiments attacked once again. Columns of the Union soldiers moved across the fields, subjected to heavy defensive fire from Breckinridge's Confederate forces. As the day progressed, a combination of Union regiments succeeded in pushing back the 4th Kentucky Infantry. The old Rebs' counterattack, however, succeeded in recapturing the very breastwork that they were defending in the first place.
Well, as that counterattack progressed, Union forces at the covered bridge took an increasing pressure from the 4th Kentucky Regiment.
Nice.
Realizing that the location was unprotected, the remaining Union forces attempted to withdraw to the starting lines. Confederate forces, now stationed near the covered bridge, exacted heavy casualties on retreating forces.
Oh, wow.
Few Union soldiers who remained at the bridge, now caught between multiple Confederate regiments, refrained from attacking. I would assume.
Right.
When Union forces attempted to break through to the bridge, Confederate forces inflicted further casualties, forcing the attack to withdraw.
Yeah, I think you might as well just,
Gotta get out of there, guys. Find something else.
when they actually want to keep on pursuing, that's when they're getting their ass kicked. But when they can actually do something, they're like, nah.
Right.
On the very far right, Duke, he was pressed hard by columns of attacking Union soldiers. Seeing this, Colonel Giltner sent his regiment to reinforce Duke. Before Giltner's reinforcements arrived, Duke and his men counterattacked the Union line, routing it and forcing a withdrawal. Damn. Look at you, Duke. Duke and Witcher then combined forces and charged the old Bluecoats' extreme left flank, inflicting significant damage on Union colored regiment. After taking heavy casualties and losing strategic superiority, Burbridge and his men conducted a disorganized withdrawal.
Can't have disorganized.
Disorder. The old Confederates had succeeded in holding that rail breastworks, and they had expended most of their ammunition yet doing what? But it comes at a downfall. Most of their ammo gone. That sounded better.
Each Confederate infantryman had fired at least 75 rounds, with some firing significantly more.
Oh, which significantly mean like
150 maybe? The Union commanders then ordered another charge with a cavalry regiment that reinforced the Union infantry.
Uh-oh.
The unexpected fighting capabilities of the small Confederate force had temporarily created a reprieve for the salt works.
Oh, look at that shit. How long can they hold it? Right. Old Breckinridge, he ordered his field officers to inspect the troops. And he said he'd report back to me with the conditions of his troops. The number of men wounded and murdered had depleted his troops to a point that he judged that he couldn't even no longer hold back the Union forces at his front lines.
Yep.
He's like, yeah,
all you can do, bud.
We did what we could do between our men and the ammo. Each man had no more than 10 cartridges apiece. So, yeah, no.
Wow.
With their supplies destroyed by Stoneman's troops at the towns of Whitfield and Abingdon, there was little hope of being resupplied or even reinforced in the near future. So you got to go, bud.
Yeah, you got to get out of there.
You got to go. Although the vastly outnumbered Confederates had inflicted casualties and slowed the old Union advance on Saltville, they were very incapable of halting it. We did what we could do. Finding their own path, Saltville's defenses blocked.
They need Saltville.
Breckinridge and his men retreated further south. They're like, damn, we can't even go back to Saltville. Shit. Breckinridge and his men retreated further south while the Union company advanced.
Well, there we go. That's
Saltville, huh?
That's the Battle of Marion, which is going to lead
directly
into the Second Battle of Saltville, which took place December 20th to the 21st.
I mean, the old Rebs held strong for a minute.
They held strong for a minute, but when you're running out of ammo, you can't do nothing about it.
They weren't expecting this.
Yeah, well, they kind of were, but after that defeat at Marion, Stoneman's expedition advanced to Saltville. General John Breckinridge had 500 men at Saltville under Colonel Robert Preston, like we said. Another brigade of cavalry was en route under General Basil Duke. General Gillem led the unit advance and attacked first. Burbridge joined the fight shortly after, and the two Federal columns overwhelmed the town's defenses. Colonel Preston ordered a retreat, and Stoneman's troops entered the town and destroyed the salt works, accomplishing the objective of the Union raid.
Damn. Well, as you guys know, salt has always been in short supply in Virginia. If you don't know, now you do. And after destruction of the salt mines became practically non-existent.
Yeah, you need that salt, man. That's used for everything, preserving food and everything.
And you guys are about to learn, too. Giving Lee's sutlers, and it says, quote, no means of preserving what little meat they could lay hands on.
Yup.
For the hungry men in the trenches outside Petersburg and Richmond.
Yeah, Petersburg and Richmond, you guys are going to... Got no supplies, bud.
Additionally, damage to the lead mines near Wytheville, it would keep them from contributing fully to the war effort for 3 months.
What are you going to do without lead? No bullets, anything.
That really hurt them. Many wells and water sources were also fouled up. Oh, you guys are bastards.
Poisoning the drinking water.
Right. Someone poisoned the drinking hole. Leading to the disruption of water supplies, obviously. Many of the railroad locomotives, the cars, depots, and bridges in the vicinity were destroyed beyond repair. In a memoir, Stoneman wrote that his troops captured 34 officers, 845 enlisted men during the attack into Marion, Virginia. And they got their ass beat, too. Well, the Union, they got a good ass beating, but they still won.
They sure did.
That's what happens when we have ammo.
And more men.
All right.
The Civil War Trust and its partners have acquired and preserved 107 acres of the Saltville battlefields. So, good for you guys preserving things. And that's going to lead us to our last battle of the day. We're going all the way back to Tennessee at Anthony's Hill, which is also known as the Battle of Kings Hill or even the Battle of Devil's Gap.
Fucking volunteers, huh?
And that occurred Christmas Day. This was fought between combined Confederate cavalry and infantry units commanded by Major General Nathan Bedford Forrest. And he's facing off against the Union commanded by Major General James Wilson. And this was a part of the Franklin-Nashville campaign, which they're pursuing a runaway enemy right now.
Runaway
kick their asses at Nashville.
They'll kick your ass.
Well, believing he was pursuing an enemy ripe for capture, Wilson had his troops on the road early on Christmas Day.
Is that like a name of a death metal fucking album? Ripe for Capture or something like that.
Could be. Could be a band name. Ripe for Capture. That's cool.
I like it.
By 3 p.m., he was several miles south of Pulaski when he encountered Forrest's skirmishers. Without hesitation, he sent in pursuit 3 regiments of dismounted cavalry into a heavily wooded gorge leading to the top of Anthony's Hill.
Oh. Good progress was made until a rail barricade was encountered. Here, Forrest had posted his 2 brigades of infantry and 2 brigades of cavalry, along with 3 masking field pieces. In moments, the Federal troops had been blasted back to heavy musketry in the direction from which they came, with Forrest's men in rapid pursuit.
Oh, he's like, who's tell me, who's pursuing who?
Right. Soon they encountered an additional brigade of Wilson's troops, who quickly joined the retreat. After capturing a Federal cannon, the old Rebs continued to pursue in an additional half a mile until they struck a full division of Union cavalry.
You don't want that full division.
It's like, we just got to make another half a mile. They got a full division. At this point, Forrest had chosen to disengage. He was like, his victorious troops returned up the hill to their original positions at the barricades, and then they finally withdrew under the cover of darkness further south to Sugar Creek.
Yep,
Forrest.
had already established a reputation for bold offensive action, displayed at Anthony's Hill an equal mastery of defensive warfare.
Fantastic.
His stands there and the following day at Sugar Creek had bought important time for the stricken army to flee for safety behind the Tennessee River. That the Army of Tennessee survived to cross the river safely on December 26th through the 28th, barely hours ahead of their pursuers, and continue to fight into the following spring is due almost completely to Forrest's performance in delaying the Union pursuit.
He's trying hard.
Well, that's going to do it for the year of 1864 in this war, which...
Yo, Rebs. Clinging. I
don't know why.
They're like... what's his face from Titanic? Just clinging to life in that cold ass water. Jack was his name. Frozen was his brain.
Yes, it was.
He had real brain freeze.
There's 146 battles in the year of 1864 that are recognized by the Battlefield Park Organization, whatever it's called. United States won 72. Confederates won 52. 22 were a tie or inconclusive.
That's
crazy.
Basically the same thing.
No.
If the inconclusives could have went the Confederates' way, right?
They would have won one more battle, 2 more battles.
Right.
The United States won 7 A battles.
Damn.
To the Confederates 4, 2 were tied. U.S. won 22 B battles to the Confederates 14, 4 were tied. The United States won 29 C battles compared to the Confederates 18, 10 were tied. 8-8 was the D battle, 6 tied, and then we had a couple not ranked, which were like skirmishes and shit. USA won 6 of those, and the Confederates won 8 of them.
Oh, look at that. The old Rebs get the unconfirmed battles, huh?
To date, in 3 years of the war, the United States has won 210 battles compared to the Confederates' 141.
I mean, that's still pretty damn good.
67 were inconclusive.
But they're kicking their asses.
This is where it gets, A battles, Union won 23-13. B battles, Union won 51-34. 13 were ties. C battles, 57-42 Union, 22 were tied.
Wow.
D battles, 50-26.
Wow.
22 were tied. And then non-ranks, 29-26, 7 were tied.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, the Confederates are not doing so well. And then in 1864, the first 5 months, there's only 5 months, but, are just straight annihilation by fucking the Union. It's just crazy.
Just terrible, man. The only wins Confederates have are unsanctioned battles. One. Oh, they have a C. A couple C's. All C's.
The highest ranking battle they win from here on out is a C battle.
No. What, they won the very last battle of the war? Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Spoil that for you.
It's actually technically not even the very last battle.
No,
it's not. It's the last battle, but it's not the last engagement.
Right. There's more to come for the next 4 or 5 years.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not involving Confederates.
Yeah. Not Confederates, but rebels. But rebels.
Next week, we'll start out the year of 1865 with the second battle of Fort Fisher, which is an A battle, but it's not very long. So we'll probably have the Battle of Broxton Bridge in South Carolina, and maybe even the Battle of Rivers Bridge in South Carolina as well.
It's a hell of a name, the Rivers Bridge. I know.
Right.
It's the last name.
We don't have an A battle. We have 2 back-to-back A. Well, I mean, besides the Fort Fisher, but 2 back-to-back A's in March: Battle of Bentonville and Battle of Fort Stedman.
Oh.
A couple of significant ones, and then leading us all the way up to that Battle of Appomattox Courthouse. We already know what happens there. And then that's it for the old Civil War. So, got some good stuff coming up. Reminder, YouTube, you can get this podcast and our Outlaws and Gunslingers podcast all in the same place. Or
for
if you're
free
listening on Spotify, Apple, you also get it for free. Give us a review, share with friends, answer that Spotify question. We'll be back next week. Starting out the very last year of the war and the really decline even more of the Confederate States of America. We'll be back then for Battles of the American Civil War. We are the Mouth of Michigan as we...
Bang, bang.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so you never miss out on new episodes of Outlaws and Gunslingers or Battles of the American Civil War, right here on the Bang Dang Network. And don't forget to check out those playlists.